Hello, this is Toby, the Galactic Intuitive. How are you guys doing today? I hope you are well. We're going to be a little bit more laid back today. Feeling rather casual in my t-shirt, and we're going to pull some cards. So before I hit record, the message I was getting from Spirit was that this let me start over since I'm talking. This reading, it has no specific time frame. It is maybe whenever you come upon it, or it may be something that resonates for a past and brings clarity to a past situation, or maybe a past event. It may be something that you don't discover until much later, but that is the perfect time for you to come across this and receive the message. So that's what I was getting. We are pulling from the Inner Temple Oracle to begin with, from Rebecca Campbell. As we've been talking a lot about sovereignty and our own inner temple and developing our relationship with that. So here we are. Interesting. We have inner autumn and inner spring. And this is super interesting because there were so many messages about, when was it? I think it was around Lionsgate, so around 8/8. There were messages about this autumn feeling like springtime. And I say this autumn because I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. So for those of you who are not, I apologize for but I mean, it certainly, we've got the polarity card here of autumn and spring. And there is an interesting too, that they mentioned that the first thing that they said was that we're setting aside time in this reading. So that obviously is related to this card, and it matches my shirt. Look at that. It's interesting too how the clothes I wear, the colors are often linked somehow to these readings. Color has a lot of significance. So you guys know that. Energetically, it also has a lot of significance. So just an interesting side note. But we have cherry blossoms here on this card for the springtime, and we have these beautiful like maple and aspen leaves. I was trying to think of the name of the tree. I was like, what are those beautiful yellow trees? They're not yellow trees, but the trees with the yellow leaves. Maples, aspens, I'm getting a sense of birch and oak. I'm not sure why those trees are significant, but they may be significant for somebody out there. It is, okay, let me bring that through fully. There is a significance to recognizing that with every, and now my throat chakra is getting tight, with, this is going to sound obvious, but what I'm getting initially, and I'll expand on it, is with every spring, there is a corresponding autumn. With every autumn, there is a corresponding spring. And what they're getting at is that they, in some points in our lives, they actually occur simultaneously. Now, again, we're setting aside human time, right? And we're actually setting aside the nature's seasons. And what we're speaking on here are the seasons within our lives, like within our individual lives. So in times when things are being released in your life, it is a preparation for something else potentially to bloom. So one set of trees had the leaves wither and die, and then another set can be born, can blossom and bloom. And so it is this reminder that even though things may be literally falling away in your life, changing, shifting, even maybe things just fading out of your life, people, situations, I'm hearing communities, environments that you usually or have in the past visited often and spent time in and invested energy in, those things may be falling away. And it may seem to be occurring in a way that is invisible. Like there's no real reason for it necessarily that you can see. However, it is just occurring. It's kind of the leaves, like the leaves turning on the trees, right? Like we watch it happen and we kind of take for granted or are even ignorant to the process. I don't mean ignorant in a bad way, but we just don't have awareness necessarily unless we're looking into it, or we don't pay attention to the underlying process, because in that particular case, it may not be important to our perception. So that's what they're speaking to here with the trees losing their leaves. It's not really, and then the corresponding things falling away in your life. It's not the process of it, and the why of it isn't necessarily the important part. It's that it is really the why is it's there to create space for these new things to blossom for you. And so whenever you come across this, this may resonate for you as far as part of your life experience, this particular season in your life. And also that reminder that whenever that occurs, they may happen simultaneously. You may see things coming in, but there may be a pause in between too. I'm kind of drawn to the space in between the two beings here. And there is a slight pause, that kind of liminal space of time and frequency that allow for the unfolding of the new to actually come in. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's do another one from this deck and then we'll expand upon it. There is a part of this has to do with the heart chakra. I'm hearing awakening as well. There's an expansion in the heart chakra that comes along with this process for you. And part of that comes through your acceptance of the occurrence of these shifts and changes. And we have another polarity card from this deck, and not all of them are polarity cards. So we have what was I just saying about acceptance? We have the destiny life versus the fated life. Not versus. Interesting I said versus, but that's the polarity, right? The destiny life is where we take action towards what we are inspired to do, towards our guidance and our inspiration, what speaks to our soul. The fated life is when we don't. That's interesting. I'm hearing we refuse to, or we don't allow ourselves to step into that creator role, to be the creator of our experience. It's when we step into that active co-creation with the universe, with spirit, with source, with our higher self, that we then align with our destiny life versus our fated life. Fated life is not being a co-creator. It's not stepping into that role of the power that you hold. It has a this might sound a little harsh, but it has a bit of victim mentality to it, right? It's that it comes from a place of powerlessness instead of empowerment. And part of, this is corresponding with the autumn and the spring too. So if we're focusing on what is falling away, we may be turning away from what is in blossom. We might have buds popping out on the seeds that we've planted, but if we're not continuing to nurture those because we're so focused on the other leaves that have fallen off and even died, well, these are not going to bloom. They may not bloom, or maybe they won't be as vibrant and bountiful and long-lasting as they would be if we focused our attention here versus what is going away. And that also speaks to that kind of victimhood type frequency. Oh, that's super interesting. This has a lot to do with that message of sovereignty. And it is these energies that we're speaking on here, represented in these cards, brought through Spirit, through these cards, that are very important aspects of remembering self-sovereignty and remembering the creator within you. Remembering your power to do that, remembering your power even to accept the shifts and changes, and being able to see the higher perspective of how things, in order to transform, that means things have to die first. It's not necessarily, it's not a literal death, it's speaking metaphorically here, but you know, things have to wither away in order for the new to be built and the new to grow. There has to be energetic space for it. It's like, why am I getting an image of coffee cups? I'm getting an image of coffee cups in your cabinet. That's so random. If you really enjoy coffee cups, right? And I do, I love coffee. But if you have a collection of coffee cups and you only have one cabinet, you cannot continue to, such an interesting metaphor. Very interesting example. This is not a metaphor, but a very interesting example. There are only so many coffee cups you can put in that cabinet until you need to cycle some out. Maybe give some away. Maybe some they're chipped, or they have leaks, or they no longer speak to you. They don't feel good in your hand. They don't have the same, what is the word I'm trying to say? They don't bring you the same joy when you go to have your cup of coffee or your cup of tea in that cup. And so it's time to move those on so that you can bring in new cups, right? Very interesting. That's a very interesting example, Spirit. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? There's so much heart energy with this, so much. And part of this speaks back to that trust in self. Especially I'm drawn to this, that gold here with the solar plexus chakra, and trusting in your vision, trusting in your creativity, trusting in your confidence, having that trust in self so that you can express from that place of authenticity. But I'm also hearing, what was that word? Assurity. That's interesting. That's not a word I would use in that type of phrase, but for some reason that's what's coming through. Okay. What else are we going to do here? Okay, so let's look at the alchemy deck, because let's look at what may help us in, we're going to do one from the alchemy deck, and then we're going to do one from the Life Soul Vision Oracle, because that will be representative of, let's see, the alchemy is going to help us in alchemizing these energies, right? The polarities here within us to be accepting of that creator role in our life, and to be accepting of the transformative energies that go along with us experiencing these changes, and then aligning with our I can't shuffle these all of a sudden. That was weird. Oh, and look at that. There's a tree on the very bottom. I'll show it to you. Like, look at what happened to the cards. Okay, there's a lot of resistance here. I can't. There's the tree, which is actually summer. All right, let me try this again. There's a lot of resistance here. Who's feeling resistance to what I just said? Let's do some breathing. Let's do some breathing. There's resistance to potentially to stepping in, and I just saw 1515. There's resistance to stepping into that creator role because it feels like there is a lack of trust in oneself. And there's also, what is that? What else that I'm feeling? There is, I'm just getting a lot of disbelief. Honestly, a very strong sense of disbelief. And it's a there goes the throat chakra. Give me just a second so I can talk. There's a lot of, it's like I'm hearing someone else's voice in your head. And it's someone else's voice who's telling you can't do it. That and now the cards are moving so smoothly. It needed to be said. Okay, I had to, my eyes are glassy now. I just had a coughing fit. I had to pause the camera. I'm still mid-shuffle. I had to pause the camera because I was coughing so much. Okay, so I'm hearing someone else's voice in your head saying that you can't do it. And they also don't, that voice feels like what blocks you from speaking your truth. Because the same time I was hearing that voice is when my throat chakra closed up. And it was when I was talking about your ability to be a co-creator. Oh my gosh. It was when I was talking about your ability to be a co-creator in your life that I felt that resistance. And that's when my throat chakra keeps blocking too. Wow. So if this is resonating for you, you may want to consider looking into throat chakra clearing frequencies, which may be a more gentler way to work through that energy, because it's, if you have that voice in your head from someone else, that is keeping you, that repeatedly blocked you from speaking your truth. Yeah, now my words are gone. It's a very strong energy. I think it would be helpful to consider that, to consider a throat chakra clearing frequency. You can find them on YouTube. They're free. Just select a channel that resonates for you. Okay. I don't remember what that particular hertz number is for the throat chakra, but you can easily find it by just typing in YouTube throat chakra clearing frequency, and you'll find it. Oh, that's a really strong energy to be working through. But there is such a strong connection to your heart chakra. It's like a building up of energy in your heart and in your solar plexus, and it wants to be expressed. It wants to be expressed, and it keeps getting pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. And it's that pushing, whatever is pushing it down, that is keeping you actually from stepping into that full role as co-creator of your life. And it also has you focused on the autumn versus what the autumn is actually bringing to you, what it's doing for you instead of what it's doing to you. And then you have the card 10. See how it's reflecting all that light and it's showing you the full spectrum there. Well, you can't see it when I'm looking at it. It's card number 21, which is in the Tarot the World card, which is the final card in the hero's journey. Brings it all together. This feels like even though it may not have sounded like it as we were talking through these other energies, this, and I experienced it in a very intense way. Not to say you're not experiencing it in an intense way, but you also may find that you've done a lot of healing already. You've done a lot of spiritual work. You've done a lot of work on clearing the heart chakra, the throat chakra, working towards expression, being in authenticity. So your experience of it may be rather subtle. Because I get this sense of being far along in your journey with the card 21. Let me read this one for you guys, because the author, if I can get a book, the author offers great explanations for these. Okay, 21. 10, malleable, expansive, Jupiter. Okay. Okay, on one hand, it is in 10's Jupiterian nature to expand, to mobilize, to cover the whole territory. On the other hand, the metal cannot withstand much weight or pressure. When this card appears, you may have reached a limit or breaking point after taking on more than is logistically possible under the circumstances. Don't take this juncture personally. More strength is required before taking the next steps to support the expansion you see in your mind's eye. I see this as not necessarily taking on too much, but being at that breaking point of, the light is about to break through. And we have all of the chakras represented here. I know it's kind of more orangey than yellow, but it's all of the main 7 chakras represented here. And so this is everything coming into alignment. You are on the verge of this breakthrough. And that's what the 10 is referring to. All right, let's see. Just checking the other notes here to see if there's anything else that resonates. It says to ponder, reflection as illumination. That really stands out too. Okay, so that's how to alchemize this energy. Let's look at one more card. Oh my gosh, I can talk for a long time. It's already been 22 minutes. How is that possible? Okay. So we'll do one from the Life Soul Vision Oracle, and we'll look at the heart expansion and what will be supportive. I'm also hearing like what will help you with this heart expansion that is, I can feel it energetically occurring underneath the surface. Oh, interesting. It just started raining. I can feel it under the surface, and it's welling up. So again, you're at that breaking point. Oh wow, look at this. New Moon, Deliberate Intention, card number 14. And now it's pouring rain. So definitely your deliberate intention to turn the page. It's that releasing of those past beliefs and also seeing yourself beyond what or how you were labeled in the past, the stories that were created maybe about you or were told to you about you from those other people or that person who is still that voice in your head. And allowing yourself to deliberately, intentionally write your own story of you. I have a meditation Don't I have a meditation? Pretty sure, yes. There was a meditation, I think it was the 2-2 meditation. It's on my website. I'll include the link in the description box, and it is to assist with this process. This is what we did that time as well. That and at the next new moon, again, whenever you see this, whenever it resonates for you, at the next new moon or between now and the next new moon is a perfect time to be working on this, to intentionally write the new story of you as the creator of your own life. And again, I feel like I'm speaking to someone who's already done a lot of this work. And this is, I think, a great reminder for all of us that the work is never done. And we continue to reveal more and more layers of self and do this work on a deeper and deeper and deeper level. And so it's not something that it's our lifetime's work. It's not something that we complete. And I hope that that doesn't feel overwhelming for you. I hope that you look at that as a journey and an adventure and an exploration, and not as a weight, not as a burden, but a story to explore and to read and to be curious about and to dive into wholeheartedly, the way you would dive into an amazing novel, your favorite book. But this one you get to write. You get to write. It's a write your own adventure. It truly is. It truly is. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Ow, that was my elbow. Thank you guys so much for being here, and for thank you again, oh my gosh, for all of your likes, the subscribing to the channel, all of your comments. I am just, my heart is so full. I have thoroughly enjoyed interacting with you guys, chatting in the comments, hearing your experience, sharing thoughts. It's been amazing, and I look forward to more of that. And thank you again for all of your interaction with these videos. It means the world to me, so thank you. I will be back very, very soon, more than likely tomorrow, and the activation meditation for the Alta Major Chakra is still coming. I have not forgotten about that. I am still working on that, so you should see that tomorrow. I will have the link available for you. Until then, you have a wonderful day. Thank you.